for the latest in sports. We bring you the stories that matters the most and news that shapes our nation. Gmeb TV, bringing the Gambia to your screen. Welcome to Gmeb TV, your go-to source for exclusive news and stories from the Gambia. Stay informed and stay ahead with our expert analysis. And open your YouTube app, click the search bar and type Gmeb TV. Open the channel and click subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out from in-depth coverage of education, business insights for the latest in sports. We bring you the stories that matters the most and news that shapes our nation. Gmeb TV, bringing the Gambia to your screen.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the 7th edition of the Marital Zone. I am your host, Abdul Koma, and this program is brought to you by Gmeb TV. And of course, with me here today is Mary K. Baji, an experienced woman in the zone of marriage, and she will come and tell us some of the obstacles, challenges, and the status quo of marriage in Gambian society. Mary K. Baji, sorry for pronouncing your name that way. You are welcome to Gmeb TV. Please tell the wonderful viewers who is Mary K. Baji, please.
Greetings, everyone. Like he rightly mentioned, my name is Mary K. Baji. Actually, you're not the only one that messed up with my name, and that's okay. Well, I'm a student and a single mother as well. And for now, yes, I would like to stop there for now. Yeah, and I'm glad to be here, and thank you for hosting me today.
Thank you so much. I think, please, this is going to be interesting dialogue here today. Mary says she's a single mother, which means we want to understand Mary, please. Mary, rather, are you married currently?
I was married and got divorced, and I have a son. Yes, and that's why I'm a single mom. A proud single mom, for that matter.
Amazing, a proud single mom for that matter. Okay, Mary, let's just go now in details now of the program now. Please tell us your experience in marriage, then in marriage before, because you are no more in marriage. Exactly. So please tell the wonderful viewers your experience in marriage, both negatively, positively, for the benefit of those that are yearning to be in marriage, but they are not. They find it deemed that it's a secret. If you don't venture there, you will not know what is there. Please make us understand. What is your experience in marriage, please?
Well, that's a very deep question anyway. But I would feel actually okay sharing my experience because maybe it might serve as a guideline for someone out there who is maybe thinking of getting married or already in marriage and finding it difficult. I was actually married for almost 4 years, and I had good and bad experiences as well. Actually, to be quite honest, when there is divorce after marriage, many people will tend to explain and make things appear positive on their side and maybe try to shift the blame to the other partner. For example, if the husband is questioned, he will speak in favor of himself. And if the wife is questioned as well, she will speak in favor of herself. Well, that's not the case with me. I have to be really honest. I was never abused. I was never violated. I was never insulted, to be quite honest, in my marriage. Though there are so many things in marriage that remains only between a husband and a wife. And that is why when there is a marital issue, it's very important to be careful with the way you talk, because there are certain things that only the wife and the husband experience it. So if only the two of them can come out and speak the truth, like honestly, you will never know who is wrong and who is right, because you were not there and you are not a witness. The only witness that was there, maybe it could be God. But other than that, it's very difficult to detect who is lying and who is saying the truth, because no one is a witness when it comes to marriage, unless if there are issues or problems that people became witnesses on when it comes outside of the room. But whatever is happening in between them is really difficult to tell. So my own experience was not an exceptional, of course. Like I said, I had a handsome son. I'm a really proud mom. And like I said, for the past 4 years of my marriage experience, there were so many ups and downs. And after the marriage, also, there were lessons that I learned that were happening in the marriage, some red flags that I ignored, and all that. So basically, I think it's important before marrying someone to get to know them. Very, very important. Like not knowing them as to what they work or what they do or what they have or what they don't have, but their attitude and their level of responsibility. This is something that is very important because if you are some ghetto girl or ghetto boys and then eventually time passed and you just became mature and you want to get married, is a very different life from the life of your youthfulness, doing whatever you want or behaving however you feel. It's really difficult to accept or adopt to a new system or a new level of marriage that has nothing to do with what you were doing before. So it's very important to know how responsible that person is or how ready is the person to stay with you as a partner, because no one wishes to get married today and divorce tomorrow. But then there are certain circumstances. Keeping that marriage is really risky and it's bad for your health as well. So the end result is to get divorced for your own peace of mind, for your own sanity and your own stability, and for your own psychological well-being. So it's really important that when marriages get to certain stages, you don't force it. Like you don't force yourself to stay if it's not working. Maybe you guys can take a break. After a while, you realize that, okay, you've learned your lessons, so you're ready to move ahead. That's fine. But if it's not really working at all, the only thing to do is part ways. Because you can't stay there and say in the name of the kids, you're staying for those kids, and what those kids are seeing and hearing is harmful to them, harmful to their future, and you're teaching them something that you don't want them to grow up with. So you don't just sit back and be like, okay, munyal settle si halai, or because of the kids and all that, because most of the time that's the stigma that they are associated with. And as a woman, you wouldn't want to be stigmatized or pointed fingers at, because it's easy for a man to get divorced and remarry again easily without so many challenges. But for a woman, it's different. They'll be like, bukuta say you mungi idol or something like they will stigmatize you. They will nanya dekulo for dekut. So those are the things that discourages so many women that are suffering in their marriages not to come out. So they prefer to stay and endure that pain, that stress, that trauma, than coming out and gaining their freedom. So it's really difficult. So society also has a role to play when it comes to marriage, especially families, friends, and close relatives. Because most of the times when they realize things are not working right, they might try to fix it when they actually don't know what was happening inside. They only know about what is happening outside. So trying to fix that without knowing the actual problem or the source of where that comes, because whenever a woman or a man is fed up with their partner, it started a long way. Like someone you actually love to the extent of marriage, that is, if love was the main reason why you guys got married, someone you love and got married to the person, and then it comes a time that you detest the person, like you don't even want to see their side or you don't want to see them or something. Like those are things that don't happen overnight. It's something that triggers them and it becomes growing, it keeps growing to an extent it's unbearable, and then everyone will just want to walk away their way. So it's really vast and really deep when you talk about marriage that has to do with two people. And again, another point is, in our African society, most of the time we think it's the woman that is coming into the marriage, so it's her responsibility to keep the marriage, to make the marriage work, to make the marriage function, to make sure the marriage is marrying. I don't know if the English is Englishing. So, yeah, but the thing is, it takes two when it comes to marriage. The woman plays her role and the man plays her role. Sure. So if you expect everything...
Okay, I think Marie is making important points here. It takes both partners to make marriage work. But like it's very unfortunate that sometimes people tend to put the blame on one side. Yes. Especially right now, Mary is not married. You know, there will be some people like, why is he divorced? I think maybe the problem is from her side. society, like you say, society judge. So sometimes I think the biggest problem in marriage is the propelment of the society. They are very influential to change, and of course, leads to collapse of marriages. So Mary, your these points are very important. But like I would like to make some I don't know, is it objections or suggestions? We talked about of course you're divorced. You said there are some negative perspectives in marriage, and of course some positive perspective. And I'm so marriage always, whenever it's gone, is negative. It's not positive. And you said whenever you find yourself that you are not having peace, you don't find respected, you have to find your way. And that is a very fundamental philosophy that you're trying to tell the girl child.
In my case,
okay,
I
please.
choose my peace of mind.
You can use it.
Yeah, in my case, I chose my peace of mind because I didn't want to waste my time on something that I already know evidently that it's never going to work. So I'm not going to stay there to say I'm staying for the sake of the kids. No, those kids deserve better. So if we can't have a home for those kids wherein they will have a responsible father and a responsible mom, I'll simply walk away. And if I happen to remarry again and it's not working, I will still walk out again. I'm not encouraging divorce, don't get me wrong. I'm not encouraging divorce. But at times there are certain relationships or there are certain issues in marriage, you don't keep them. Like you cannot maslaha it. You have to, it's either solvable or you just stop it there. If you cannot treat it, if you cannot solve it, just walk away, simple. There's no need to force things, honestly. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think we are all entitled to our own opinions and experience. You're taken out of experience. I don't think I have to object to that. I am not married, but people that are married, they are watching this. I think it's an important point. If you think you are finding peace in every situation, you have to leave. But sometimes, like, it's very sad that some people died in the marital space unfortunately, because of the society. Okay, when I get out from this home, what will they say? Like for example, you get divorced. I don't pray you have a husband and you get divorced. They were like, the problem is money. They marry rather.
Sure.
So society judges wrongly when it comes to marriage, and they play a pivotal role, especially in developing countries. They tend to put their influence to change the status quo in marriage. So I want to put this to you that some people believe women are responsible for most of this collapse in marriages. Men will agree with me, but I know feminists will not agree with me. But like I think that is very broad. When I say that depends on the circumstances of the marriage. So I will ask this question again. You see, in some marriages, a man will not allow his wife to work. Do you think that marriage is something that is fit for purpose? You as a man, you are the one bringing everything, and the family needs to survive. Let me say, but at some stage you have difficult situations. But I don't think you as a man can only bring about that change in that marriage. And still now they feel like my wife will not work, as far as he is my. Some men are jealous. Sometimes not because they don't want you to work. So like the culture of jealousy is a problem. So they feel like let us die in the marital space, but my wife will not work. What do you have to say to those kind of men?
Okay, first to begin with, society stigmatizes women mostly because we are the less privileged, we are the most vulnerable, and we are the weaker cell. But then it's up to you, the woman, to know what you want and what you're fighting for. If you know it's worth it, go in for it. If it's not worth it, choose your peace of mind, like I always say. So to come to your question, imagine a husband that abuses you, insults you, and beats you, and again does not want you to work, does not want you to do anything. You're just to stay home, cook, clean, and take care of the house and take care of him as well. And he will go outside, work, and do whatever he wants. He has his freedom and everything that he wants to do freely. Go out, work, come back anytime, and everything is functional. He's actually like, that is not like partnership, because I believe marriage should be partnership. Like you play your role, I play my role, we join it together and make it work. But it's not in a circumstance where you're the powerhouse, you're the man of the house, you decide, and whatever you say should happen, being it wrong or right. I'm really not against men that stops their wives from working. If you are able to provide everything she needs, if you can meet up all her needs, and the woman is okay with that, I don't think that should be an issue in marriage. If that is that agreement that You will provide everything that I need, and then you'll be fine with that, and the woman is okay with that. That's fine. But in a circumstance wherein you're not giving her anything, you're not taking care of her, you can't meet her needs, and you don't want her to fight for herself or work or struggle to earn for herself, yet you want her to stay home and just be a slave. That's like marital slavery, I will call it. It's not actually being possessive or being the man of that. That's actually not what makes you a man. Actually, many people miss the conception of being the man of the house. It's because you're the male. You're the first that came. Even through creation, you're the first. We all know that. And we give you that respect, and that's fine. But when it comes to marriage, it's partnership. This is something you agree to come together and form a union and then build a home. So one person cannot actually build a home because the kids need a father in as much as they need a mom. You just can't leave the mother all along. The woman is the mother, is the father, taking care of the kids. That's why most of the time in our African society, when you see a child that grows up and becomes somebody, the person they take care of most is their mom. Because it's the mom that they know. It's the mom that was there for them. It's the mom that's always beside them and taking care of them. The man is always busy outside doing whatever it is. And it's a different case with the women. And most men will get jealous and be like, and stuff like, because it's the mom that is there for him, for them. So you're always busy, or you're at work or something. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's a very important point. Okay, I will take you back a bit. You talked about, of course, when there is divorce in marriage, you see most of the times is the mother that normally take care of the kids. Are you really trying to relate that situation to your own case? Is it that are you the one? Of course, you tell me you are a single mother. I know you, like you said, you love your son, and that is amazing. Are you situating that point? Are you relating that point to your own perspective? Are you really the one responsible trying to sponsor your child to go to school? Are you talking about that?
Yes, actually, most of the things I'll be saying will be from my own experience and also from everything that we are all seeing happen around society. So basically, when I say that, it's because myself, my mom was a victim of divorce, and I was raised by a single mom. And eventually, I happened to be a single mom as well. And I'm taking care of my son alone. And the sad part is that my son don't know his dad. He don't know how he looks like. He never asks about him. And, well, I'm fine with that because I'm doing my level best to make sure he's not missing anything in his life. Though he's missing a dad, which I wish he had a father that would be there for him. At least when his mates say mommy, daddy, he will also proudly say mommy, daddy. But unfortunately, he's only saying mommy, not daddy. But then, well, that's the situation. In most times when divorce happen, the man just walk away and like they really don't care. Though most of them are really responsible, the woman will walk away and leave the kids with the husband, and the husband will have to remarry for someone to help him take care of the kids. But in most cases, it's the woman that goes with the kids, and she will struggle alone, raise them, take care of them, school them, and feed them. And when they grow up, maybe the man might come back, I'm your dad, I'm your this and your that. And the family members will also come, there is nothing thicker than blood. Well, I'm waiting for that day.
This is getting very interesting.
Yeah.
You don't care. There's this code we said, like for example, to born somebody doesn't make you a father. Responsibility makes you a father. And this is the biggest peril in Gambian society. You don't want to take responsibility of somebody, of your child. The person grow up and you want to claim responsibility because the person is successful. Yeah, it's the biggest problem. I think we need to address this in such platforms. Men have to be very selective. They have to be very much careful about such. Normal, divorce is normal. We understand. Sometimes it's beyond our control. You understand? But like that child is your child.
Innocent.
It's innocent. The problem that is like that brother between you and your wife, he didn't know that. So I don't know why really men are isolating themselves, especially after divorce. It's the biggest problem, and we need to solve that. So okay, let's just go. Let's go further. Let me try to strengthen this or object to that. Women in marriage sometimes, we saw some of them are so for example, let me just say it again. The woman is working. Sometimes at a point, women are sometimes they are superior over the men, especially when it comes to financial stability. You always provide for your husband, you provide for your child. There are some women doing that because they love their husband and they love their children, and those marriages work. But at some point, at some point, when maybe you can say there is financial loopholes, the marriage collapse because now the financial gains is no more. The husband will leave the wife and go and find another wife. There are some men. This is their work. Working on the following women that are financially stable.
Yes, women that can take care of them.
That is it. So what do you have to say to that?
Well, let me just drag back to the issue of responsibility. Imagine a boy that just grew up, having his parents take care of him at the age of 25, at the age of 30. Even when you wake up, your mom gives you breakfast and even gives you attire and everything. So you just wake up one day and they were like, lambing, you are old enough to have a wife. So I think it's high time for you to have a wife. That boy has no idea about what responsibility is. He has no idea about what building a home is. He has never experienced anything like taking care of his own self, not to mention providing for what he needs. So you just take a wife and give it to that particular person, and then you expect him to be a responsible husband and become a responsible father in the future. It's going to be very difficult. So I think parents also have a role to play in upbringing their kids to become responsible at a very tender age. Because when you're used to, fighting for yourself, struggling for yourself, being there for yourself, when you have a pal, it's going to be easy for you to drag them along because you're used to the responsibility. But if everything was done for you since childhood till you grow up, you're mature enough, and all of a sudden, boom, here is a wife. After 1 year, here are the kids. Things are not working. You're too lazy to work because it's your mom that will wake you at 9 or 11, give you breakfast. And so you're used to that comfort zone. And you expect your wife to replace that mom for you. It's going to be very difficult because your wife is not your partner to become your mom or to replace your mom, but to be your life partner. So if we miss that point, this is also one of the great challenges that results to divorce because we have a very high rate of divorce in our generation. And lack of responsibility is one of the reasons. If you cannot take care of yourself, you don't know how to stand for yourself. Obviously, you cannot stand and get someone lean on you, not to mention a wife, children, and all that. It's a lot of responsibility. So I think most of the time, because the woman has a mother heart, it's painful for them to let go their kids. So they end up the ones taking care of the responsibility, struggling with the kids and all that. And then coming to the last point that you mentioned, there are men who are like that actually. Sadly, there are men who really rely on women that are financially stable to take care of them. They expect the woman to provide for them, and because they're used to that comfort zone, like I explained, you're used to sleeping up to around 11 or 12, and everything is at your disposal. So it's really difficult for you to take up responsibility and, hustle hard and go out there. This is a big problem with Gambian youths, I have to be honest. I'm not only referring to men, women as well. There are ladies who are really irresponsible, and there are men who are very irresponsible as well. But again, there are some of them that are very responsible. Like I said, when there is divorce, they opt to take care of the kids regardless of whatever the situation. But the most important point that I want to put across is no matter the challenges or no matter the problems that you have with your partner, being your husband or your wife, never let the kids come in between. Those kids are really very innocent with whatever that happened between you guys. You can be mad at your husband, you can mad at your wife, but you cannot be mad at your kids because of your husband or because of your wife. So it means you're transferring the anger of your wife or the anger of your husband to those kids that are really innocent and have no idea about whatever it is that you guys agreed on to an extent of they were the end result of the product. So it's really sad that many men will actually divorce the wife and divorce the kids as well because they don't want to take the responsibility because they are angry with you. You're not doing it to the woman, you're doing it to your kids. What exemplary father are you being to your kids? Or what exemplary mother are you being to your kids? That is something that is really worth considering when divorce is at hand. Yeah.
I can't agree with you last. That is very irrational of men. You don't claim responsibility and you want to claim financial gains at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It's a problem. I think we need to change our modus operandi. We need to change our ways of life. If, like I said, divorce is normal, but always be ready to partake in the challenge. Your child need love. Like I said, like your child is growing, like your son is growing when he go to school. Like maybe some of his friends are like, "Where's your father?"
Yeah.
Like you say, he don't know his father.
Maybe some of the fathers will drop his friends and will be like, "My father is not dropping me." Your father
So I think this thing affects children.
a lot.
These are problems between married men and married people. It really affects young people.
Psychological aspect of
So I think divorce is very rampant now, very rampant. And what do you think now is the major key of the rampant cause of divorce? People tend to magulify the problem to the side of the men, and some say the side of women. So what do you have to say towards that? Please just make it very precise, and we move on, please.
Well, I talk too much, so somebody is my problem since school days. Anyway, the main problem of divorce in this country, I would say in our generation, it's not actually one thing. It depends on the situation, I would say. Because if the foundation of the marriage or the relationship was built on interest or another thing aside love, nothing can sustain it. Because if it's wealth, wealth cannot sustain the marriage. If it's beauty, beauty cannot sustain the marriage. If it's marital issues or material things, that cannot sustain. But if it was built on love, I mean genuine love, there will come a time, there are certain things you compromise for the sake of love. There are certain things you'd let go for the sake of love. But when it comes to money or wealth or beauty, if those things are the reasons for you getting into marriage, if they don't exist anymore, you cannot stay. Because those were the things that were keeping you there. Maybe you married to someone because of their money or because of you feel you will have a comfortable life because they are wealthy. If the money is no more there, you will not stay because that was what kept you there. So if it's because of they are beautiful or they have curvy shape, so you fall for them, if it have eventually happened to fade away, you cannot stay anymore because what was keeping you there is no more there. But I think the main problem is because genuine love is really lacking when it comes to marriage. Maybe people get fond of each other, get used to each other and eventually think they are mutually in love enough to get married. And at the end of the day, when you get into marriage, you realize the love you came in with is not enough to sustain you. So it means like you needed extra love to come in. Because the marital zone is not a cold battlefield. Yes, it's not a cold battlefield, honestly. Yes.
Like my mentor used to say, Usman Manja, he said, there is no perfect marriage. But you need experience, you need sacrifice, you need perseverance, you need tolerance to propel marriage. So like imperfection is a normal range in marriage. But we have to understand that we must take sacrifice and take responsibility, that we will be able to maneuver any predicaments that come. But if circumstances rise beyond your control, that is the decision of God. But shouldn't be implied to your your children. So important point. I think Mary, this discussion is becoming very interesting. You, like you said, you speak a lot, but I'm thinking I speak more. But it's amazing that I'm having a host, a invited guest here that is speaking at least more than me. So Mary, let me ask you this question again. Challenges are very normal in marital spaces, and are very normal in our endeavors. So like you said, some people before they get married they have to know each other. Sometimes you see they tend to they know each other, of course. So how do one find out that this guy is a genuine person? Understand? Like I just see Maria, I was like, okay, Maria is beautiful. Let me just try and bring color out. I don't even know who is Maria. I think it's the biggest problem. Instantaneous marriage because of, like you said, beauty. Because of there's a saying. Like I said, beauty is taking many girls in marriage home, but character is busy throwing them back at their father's house. So it's the biggest problem. So what do you have to say to that?
Well, I think it's really difficult to know who someone is because like the Wolof will say, you only know the person when you live with them. So there are certain aspects of a human being you only discover when you're staying with them, when you live with them actually. Like staying together is not an easy thing. So being neighbors alone is a problem, not to mention having to live with someone that you are diverse. You're different from each other, different of gender, different of mentality, different of upbringing, and difference in everything. The only thing that is bonding you guys together is the love you shared. So if that is not genuine, is a big problem. So that's why it's really important to have genuine and enough love before getting into marriage. I know maybe many people were asking, like, if she is talking all this, how come she's out of marriage? Yeah. Well, all this knowledge came after marriage. Actually, I learned from my lessons. So I'm just speaking out of experience, and yeah, I hope it helps. Anyway, but then it's very difficult, even not only in marriage, but a person. It's very difficult to know a human being because people change. Due to circumstances or time or maybe arguments or issues might rise and someone might suddenly change, so they become a different person and you wonder, is this really the person I married? Is this really the person I fell in love with? That's because that part of them was not visible when you were dating or when you recently got married. So there's a friend of mine that will always tell me, I think the sweetness of marriage ends after honeymoon. So the rest of the lifetime is just a struggle and a hustle. So it's really challenging. But then it's really difficult to know a person. So you cannot exactly say, this is the procedure to get to know somebody. Though there are criteria that tells you about a person. Because the way you talk, the way you behave, your attitude, it sends a message. So if those things are to be considered, maybe you can maneuver your way into understanding the person psychologically or emotionally. But if that's not the case, you really cannot detect, especially if someone is bent on coming into your life. For example, if you're rich and I'm attracted to you, I want to make sure I tap into that wealth, I'll present myself as the best. And you will have no choice but to fall. But at the end of the day, my intention was not to be your partner or to love you. It was just to get what you have. It was just to benefit from what you're having. So in that situation, it's very difficult to detect that this person is pretending and not being real to me. So mostly that's the case, unfortunately.
Amazing. That is well understood. I don't have any adjustment to that or objection to that. Okay, Mary, you talked about your divorce, but we don't know the root cause of your divorce. I don't know. You're trying to maybe you're just trying to manipulate, I understand. So we want to understand because people are learning. At least they will learn from this experience. Is it your fault? Because it seems like the thing here is not your fault. You are really taking charge of your children, of your child rather, and you are trying as the best you can do to take responsibility to make your child, to have the best. So is it that is the problem, is the root cause from your side? Are you very comfortable in talking about that? Or I could just have to...
Sure, I don't mind. Actually, like I said when I first started, I wouldn't say it's my fault. Neither will I say, I don't want to blame my ex-husband either. But then I'm not trying to shift blames. But then irresponsibility was one of the reasons why I left. I couldn't stay in a home wherein you don't know your stand as a man or you don't know your responsibilities as a man. An example of that is the fact that he's not even taking care of his son or even asking about him. So I think in a situation that's enough reason for me to leave. So I really don't want to go into details because I don't want to kind of, feel like I'm being bad to him or labeling him or framing him. But I think the fact that I'm a single mom and taking care of my son alone rings a bell. I wouldn't want, imagine if there were 4 or 5 of them, me alone. At this young age, I have a future, I have my dreams, I have goals. Imagine if I had stayed and listened to the advice, Munyal, and stay for the sake of your kids, and I end up bearing more children for him. And at the end of the day, I'm left alone to take care of my kids. Because in many African homes, when you go, it's only the mom that you meet there, struggling with the kids, maybe selling at the market, having to do some cleaning job, going up and down, running here and there, to make sure they bring something on the table for the family. So maybe in most cases, those marriages at the early stage, they were red flags that everyone ignored. But if you are aware of the red flags and you click on at a very early age, I think it's better than spending the rest of your life there, and at the end of the day, you're the only one struggling or suffering. If my son had siblings, I would have been really suffering alone, because I wouldn't have the standard that I need to take care of 1 or 2 or 3 kids or 4. So it's really important to consider those things, in as much as we really want to be good wives, we really want to get married. But if you end up with the wrong partner, don't force it. Don't just stay because you want to be a good wife or proven to be the wife material. So yeah, that's really important.
Mary said irresponsibility is a key factor what leads to the collapse of marriages. But she don't want to go tapped into the area, so no problem. We're going to allow you. It's fine. We are very happy about that. Okay, Mary, so young girls really rush into marriage because, like what you alluded here, is the biggest lesson to them. They have to know their partners before they venture into marriage. It's a critical area. It's a critical environment. So one needs a therapist. Yeah. So please, should they venture into marriage? Because now the philosophy and the culture of this of our society, that if you are at a very younger age of 18, you have to get married. Sometimes some people get this, this marriage, this yes. This technological, like life now. People from somebody's in Germany, you are in Gambia, you get married. So sometimes this long distance relationship are problems. They cause a lot of problems in marital spaces. So Kali, what advice do you have for young people that are not yet in the marital space?
Okay, my advice is, in as much as there are a lot of divorces, that should not discourage you from getting married if you're with the right partner. And again, the fact that all your mates or your colleagues are getting married should not rush you into marriage. If not, lessons will rush you back home. So I wouldn't advise anyone to rush into marriage regardless. No matter, even if your partner is the best or like you have the most amazing woman or the most amazing man, never rush into marriage, because marriage is way different from dating or being in a relationship. And the fact of long distance relationship is really a big challenge, because you're over there, you're struggling, and maybe the woman is here or the husband is here. It happens in both ways. Sometimes it's the man that is away, and sometimes it's the woman that is away. The most important thing is it's a long distance relationship. So if the understanding and mutual connection is not there, it's going to be very difficult to sustain that marriage. In as much as we want to fulfill maybe our religious rights, or we want to please our parents, because most of them will like, I want to see my grandchildren before I die, even if you're not ready to get married. So for the sake of that statement, you force yourself into marriage because you want them to see their grandchildren. But remember, like, your parents might not live to help you take care of those grandchildren if anything should happen tomorrow. No one ever prays for that though, but it's important to, to consider those outcomes as well, because most at times, these are the most troubling circumstances of issues when it comes to marriage. Because at the end of the day, it's only the mom that will be left to take care of the kids, or maybe the dad will be the only one left to take care of the kids. So it's really important to consider that when you're getting married, are you really ready to settle down for good? Are you really ready to stick to that only person? Maybe when it comes to religions, other men will tell you, I have the right to have 4 wives. Yes, you have the right to have 4 wives, but those 4 wives comes with a responsibility. You're not asked to play around or to be cheating around until you are caught, and you base it on your religious right of having 4 wives. There's a procedure to looking for a wife, and there is a way of, just behaving and being a womanizer. It's really different. So some men will just pretend they are trying to look for a 2nd wife or a 3rd wife or a 4th wife when they're actually just playing around or, messing around, and they will be like, I have the right to have 4. Yes, you have the right to have 4, but only if you can take care of them equally and be responsible for them. Not just, having fun and enjoying yourself and moving away. Or maybe you give fish money to this one, you don't give it to the other one. Or you forget about your 1st wife because you have a new 2nd wife and stuff like that. Is not the right that was given to you religiously as a man to have 4 wives or 2 or 3. That's not it. Though it's very good, but I know that it comes with a responsibility. It's not just for you to play around. Yeah. I
don't think there's no religion in the world that supported that. Inequality is bad. If you know you cannot really build a culture of parity between your wives, please stay. Just like me, please, because man, I'm going to marry only one wife. I'm not going to, because I know I cannot, maintain the culture of parity. I love a lot, so I have to be very much, vigilant about that. So amazing. That is very important, Marie. That's a very important point. So let me ask you, look, you have been a very strong woman. Somebody who boldly said, she's a divorced lady and she still keep on going. She's a proud single mother. She's still, still.
I'm not giving up on marriage. I will remarry again.
So please tell us what keep you going as a woman, because you have been really been divorced, and some people after divorce they become weak because they believe now that is the end of me. So what keep you going as a woman, please? Please tell us that.
Well, I think my son is one of the reasons why I'm moving on. Because I wouldn't want him to lose a dad and lose a mom at the same time. So I need to stand strong and know that I'll be wearing 2 caps and wearing double shoes as well, because I will have to be the mom and I will have to be the dad for him. So I was left with no choice but strong. Strong was the only option I had, and I needed to be strong for him because I wanted to give him the best, and I wanted to give him the best experience of parenting. I wouldn't want him to have bad experience, because growing up as a child, I really went through a lot, and I wouldn't want my kids to go through the same thing. So that is one of the reasons that motivate me to be the strong person that I am. And I'm not giving up on marriage. I will still remarry again.
I know this time I will call Kemo to come and marry you, inshallah. Kemo is a gentleman, so I know he is a very decent man, responsible and very caring. I know he will be. So please, this will really lead to the end of this dialogue. It's very interesting. So this is the last question. What advice do you have for married men and married women right now in marital space? Because you are divorced, you understand a lot. I don't know if you made mistakes. You will not outline the mistakes you do. But then please, what advice do you have for couples that are in the marital space, as far as your experience is concerned in the marital space?
Okay, I wouldn't mind outlining my mistakes actually. I really made some really terrible mistakes in my married life. That was over trusting without actually find out the facts. I trusted blindly and I loved unconditionally. So that was my major problem. I'm not stopping anyone from loving unconditionally or trusting the person fully. But remember, we are all humans. Anyone can be tempted to do something messy, and then at the end of the day, they will regret it and all that. But then the most important thing is to make sure you are kept safe and your emotions are kept safe. So what I would advise the men and women out there, both those who are married and those who are not yet married as well, be communicative to your partner. Be really communicative. It's really important. When you communicate and dialogue, you tend to know each other more. You learn a lot. And don't even think a matter is too small or too big to discuss. There are certain couples that wouldn't want to table out their differences or their misunderstandings. Everyone will just be angry on their own. This one will sleep facing this way. This one will sleep facing this way. No. Never sleep a day without sorting out any misunderstanding that you have during the day. Don't go to bed without solving it. It's really dangerous. Those are the things that build the separation in between the two of you. It breaks the bond that you share. So if the communication and the connection is not there, it's really difficult for you to tend to bond together, because it's like a contraction. This is how it goes. So whenever it's like this, it's only trust and communication that can bring it back this way. So if you just leave it that way, and I'm angry with you, you are angry with me, we're not discussing it, or we are not tabling it out, that's really dangerous. And those are the things that leads to divorce. So it's really important that we pay attention to those small details and the small red flags in our marital homes or our relationship. It really helps a lot to know your partner and get to know each other. So don't ignore your misunderstandings. Talk about it, like exchange about ideas, like explain yourselves, like hear each other out. Let the man talk, listen to him, and let the woman talk, listen to her. Just because you're the man does not mean whatever you say stands, so she don't need to explain herself or she don't need to hear her out. No, it's a connection. Like it takes the two of you. So you cannot move ahead without her, drag her along. And you cannot as well, because there are women who are super iron ladies to an extent. They have the power say in the house. So in that aspect as well, don't isolate your man. Like, don't leave them behind, drag them along. So the most important thing is communication. Make sure whatever you do, like, let there be communication in between you, and you will get to understand each other more. So that's the safest advice I can say. Yeah. So my last words: the fact that there are too many divorces should not discourage you, because we all have different destinies. There are people who got married for ages and never got divorced, and I would not say they never had issues, but issues that will bring their marriage to crumble has not happened in between them. So those are the people you look forward for advice, for grooming as well, because you wouldn't want to go to a home wherein it's a broken home already and you cannot find the pieces to bring them together. So it's important to also learn from the society, from the surroundings. And when you're getting married, try to know the family you're getting into, the kind of people you're going in, because these are the people that will become your family. You're leaving your family behind to come and make a new family. So you really need to understand the background of that family that you're going into in order for you to make a home peacefully. So it's really important to take note of that and never give up. Keep communicating and love genuinely. Don't let anything be your reason for loving. Like, let it just be genuine and natural. Like, if it's beauty, it's going to fade and you might lose it. And if it's wealth, it might go and you might not be able to stay. So whatever it is, when you're falling in love with somebody, don't let their beauty or their appearance or what they have be your reason for loving them. Like, just love them for who they are naturally, and I'm sure you will be safe. And good luck to those who are getting married soon. I'm not getting married anytime soon either, but I will.
But like, I already, I saw that Kemo is going to marry you, so please. Okay, this is a very wonderful conversation and very educational, and I'm sure the viewers learn massively. Those young girls who want to go to marriage, they think marriage is like a toy you have to play. You have to be very careful. You have to make informed decisions before you venture into marriage. Mary said, it takes two partners to build a bond. Communication is fundamental. Respect is quite the key. And of course, compassion will propel the marital space. So thank you so much, Mary, for honoring our invitation. It's a pleasure having you. See you some other time. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Welcome to Gmeb TV, your go-to source for exclusive news and stories from the Gambia. Stay informed and stay ahead with our expert analysis. And open your YouTube app, click the search bar and type Gmeb TV.